Yo, what's up guys? So today we are gonna see, what if, Naruto unlocks his bloodline during a beating at a young age, Naruto X Temari X Female Haku X Hinata, Part 1. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, go check out the author of this fanfic, BlueLionFox, link is in the description, and also subscribe to my channel. And like this video. Let's begin the video. Naruto ran as he was being chased by a group of 3 drunks. He took a turn and ran into a dead end. He gulped and turned and looked as the 3 approached him. The last thing he saw was a hand coming down on his head and everything going black. The next thing he remembers was waking up in the hospital. "Naruto, can you hear me?" he heard. Naruto blinked as his eyes adjusted to the white lights. "An old man?" he asked. "Welcome back to the world of the living. Are you in pain?" the third asked. "No, what happened?" Naruto asked. "Well, according to Kurenai and Anko, you were beaten by a group of drunks. They beat them and turned them in. But if they didn't come when they did, you would have been killed by those 3, the third said. "Who are they? Can I meet them?" Naruto asked. "Sure, they will come visit you later today," the third said. "Okay," Naruto said. "So Naruto, why were you out so late? It was well after midnight when you were found being beaten. Why weren't you at the orphanage like you were supposed to be?" the third asked. "I was kicked out last week," Naruto whispered. "And you didn't tell me why. I could have made arrangements for you so you wouldn't be living on the streets," the third asked. "I didn't want you to worry. You have enough problems without me causing you more," Naruto said. "How do you expect me to protect you from things like this as I don't even know you're safe at night? How do you expect things to get better for you if you never let me know when things happen to you? Naruto, you can't keep letting things like this happen to you. I know you're only 5, but you have to remember that there are people who wants to protect you, and sometimes we need your help to make sure you're safe all the time," the third explained. "Sorry, old man," Naruto said. "Don't worry, I'll tell Anko and Kurenai to bring you something to eat and a change of clothes," the third said. "Thank you, old man," Naruto. "Don't think of it, I only wants to protect you. I messed up with my son by letting being Hokage run my life. I don't want that same thing to happen to you. Actually, if I could, I would send you somewhere you will be safe. But I'm afraid I know nowhere you would be safe from stupid people like those 3 last night," the third said. "I know you would be an old man. Thanks, it means a lot to know that I at least know I can count on you," Naruto said. The third smiled and walked out. An hour later, Anko and Kurenai came into the room with some food and clothes. "Hey, you woke up?" Kurenai asked. "Yes, who are you?" Naruto asked. "I'm Kurenai and this is what Anko," Kurenai answered. "Oh well, I'm Naruto, thank you for saving me," he said. "Don't worry, here I brought you some food," Anko said, handing him the dango. "What's this? Where is the ramen?" Naruto asked. "It's dango and much better than ramen," Anko answered. "What I don't want is ramen," Naruto said. "Find more for me, you can eat this hospital food," Anko said. "What, no, I'll eat it. Please don't make me eat the food here," Naruto said, grabbing the dango bag she gave him. "Thought so," Anko said. Kurenai shook her head. "Anko, do you have to be like this all the time? Not everyone likes dango as much as you," she said. Anko shrugged. "He is eating it right, besides he needs a more balanced diet if he plans on being a shinobi," she said. "Shinobi? Who said anything about him being a shinobi? How do you know he wants to be one?" Kurenai asked. "Naruto, do you want to be a shinobi?" Anko asked. Naruto thought, "If I can learn to use sand again, I will. I remember being able to move it a little bit to protect myself, but now I can't," he said finally. "Good, I trained someone a year older than you, you can join us," Anko said. "You know you're not supposed to train someone without their parents' permission, and in this case the Hokage's permission," Kurenai said. Anko rolled her eyes. "And you got the Hyuga bastard's permission to train Hinata, I bet," she said. That's different, he doesn't even like her," Kurenai defended. "Why don't you bring Hinata to join us and we can train the 3 together," Anko suggested. "Yeah, someone needs to make sure you don't corrupt him," Kurenai said. "Sure, whatever you say, Kurenai," Anko said. Naruto finished the last of his dango and looked at the 2. "When can I leave?" he asked. "Well, you can leave now." Kurenai threw him a bag. "I bought you new clothes," she said. Naruto grabbed the bag and looked in. Inside the bag was a pair of dark orange boots, dark orange pants, a blue short-sleeve shirt, an orange sleeveless coat with a hood that went halfway between his knees and ankles, a blue belt and fingerless gloves. "These are mine?" he asked Kurenai. Yup, I thought you would like a new look of clothes, and those were picked out by Hinata herself, Kurenai said. Thank you, Naruto said. Don't worry, now go shower so we can get out of here, I hate hospitals, Kurenai said. Naruto ran into the shower and came back within 10 minutes wearing his new clothes. Kurenai and Anko almost laughed because his entire body was still wet. Naruto asked, why didn't you dry your body? Anko asked. It dries by itself, Naruto said. That takes too long, go back in there and dry off, Anko said. Naruto and Anko met Tenten at the training ground while Kurenai went to get Hinata. Tenten looked once they entered and looked at Naruto. Who is that, your son? She asked Anko. No, this is Naruto, a friend, he is going to start joining us in our training, Anko said. Oh hi Naruto, I'm Tenten, she said. Hello Tenny, he said. It's Tenten not Tenny, she told him. Yeah, but Tenny can be your nickname, he said. She looked at him for a minute. Sure, I like it, she said with a smile. Anko started Naruto on basic taijutsu. This is the #1 fundamental of being a ninja. If you can't do taijutsu, then you don't need to be training to be a shinobi, she told him. Okay, I'll train hard, Anko-sensei, Naruto said. Good, now Tenten, you're going to spar with him, but remember he never had training before. Also, I'm going to teach you my style since you don't have any style right now, Anko told the two. I'm ready, Naruto said. Good to get into this stance, Anko demonstrated for him. It took Naruto a while, but eventually he got it. Good, that's the starting stance. Now I want to just test you out to see how much work we need to do to get you up to where Tenten and Hinata are, so it will take a while before we get into the groove of things, she told him. Okay, Anko-sensei, Naruto said. As Naruto and Tenten started to spar, they tried not to interfere because Naruto needed this, so he knew what he needed to build on. As they were sparring, Kurenai and Hinata came up. How is he? Kurenai asked. We have a lot of work ahead of us with him, Anko told her. I see, Kurenai said as she watched the two spar. Okay, enough you two, Anko said. Once they stopped, they turned to Anko. Okay, you both know Kurenai and Tenten knows Hinata, but Naruto, this is Hinata Hyuga, she the heir to the Hyuga clan and is going to be joining us in our training, she told him. Hello, I'm Naruto Uzumaki, the next Hokage, he said. Hello Naruto, Hinata said with a stutter and blush. What's wrong? Why is your face red? You're not sick, are you? Naruto asked. No, she is fine, just nervous. Now let's get to know each other. Kurenai piped in. The group sat in a circle, and as Kurenai was about to speak, a scroll fell out the sky into Naruto's lap. They looked up but only saw a bird fly by. It didn't even look large enough to carry a scroll. Naruto picked up the scroll. I can't read, he said while blushing in embarrassment. I'll read what Tenten offered. Okay, Naruto passed her the scroll. Tenten opened the scroll and took a breath. She looked around and saw everyone looking at her expectantly. Naruto, you have been lied to all these years. Before you start to worry, the old man isn't the one who lied to you. Yes, he didn't tell you who your parents are or why you're treated the way you are. But he did that to protect you from people who would use that information to have you killed. Now I'm going to tell you exactly who your parents are and why you're treated like that, but you can't tell anyone. Your father is Minato Namikaze the Yondaime Hokage and your mother is Kushina Uzumaki. Your father is dead, as you know. He died sealing Kyuubi no Kitsune in you to protect his family and friends. He picked you because he knew that only you would be able to hold Kyuubi back. Your mother, she is still mourning your death. You see, in Konoha there is a man named Danzo, and Fugaku somehow both found out who you are and used Kyuubi's attack to fake your death. Kushina can now be found wandering the shinobi nation looking for her place in the world. Where she is at this moment I can't tell you, unless you are committed to finding her and restoring the Uzumaki clan to its former glory, and only she will be able to help you. My mother is alive, Naruto asked. It would seem so, Kurenai said. Maybe the old man can help me find her, Naruto said. Maybe he can, Kurenai said. Good luck with that. He may be nice to you, but he doesn't even try to prevent you from being treated the way you are treated. If he knew she was alive, why didn't he try and find her before, Anko said. Do you have to be so negative, Kurenai asked. I'm just saying, don't expect him to do anything to help you, Anko said. Well, I have to try, Naruto said. I guess, I'll take you to his office, Anko said. In the Hokage's office. Naruto and Anko walked in the office. "Hey old man," Naruto said. "Hello Naruto, how can I help you today?" he asked. "I have this letter, maybe you can help me with it," Naruto said. "Let me see what the third said." Naruto gave him the letter and he read it. "Don't bother with this, whoever wrote this doesn't know what they are talking about, Kushina is dead, and how did they know your parents and about the kitsune anyway?" the third said. "What, but can't you at least send someone out to look for her?" Naruto asked. "There is no point, Kushina has been dead for 5 years, the third said, giving him back the scroll. Naruto took the scroll and left. "Okay bye old man," he said and walked out with Anko behind him. "Don't get so down kid, everything will work out," Anko told him while rubbing his head. "How do you know what?" Naruto asked. "Don't worry, just leave that to me. How about I treat you to lunch, ramen on me," she told him. "Okay," Naruto said, cheering up. Later that day Anko went to Kurenai's apartment and asked what Kurenai asked. "We have to do something," Anko said. "About what?" Kurenai asked. "About that letter, I told you it was a bad idea to talk to the Hokage about it. All he did was shoot down Naruto's hopes of finding his mother. We have to at least look for her," Anko said. "I agree, what do you think we should do though?" Kurenai asked. "Well, we stage a kidnapping, take Naruto, Tenten, and Hinata and leave the village, train them while we look for Kushina. No one will miss Naruto since just about everyone hates him, Tenten's foster parents don't even like her, and Hinata is already an outcast in her family even if she is the heir. All we have to do is get some supplies and leave before anyone wakes up," Anko said. "But eventually someone will come looking for us," Kurenai said. "Nope, I have a plan for that also. All we have to do is fake our deaths. It will be a while before someone realizes that we are not dead, and by that time it will be too late to even look for us," Anko said. Kurenai thought about this. "Okay, I'm in, but we need to get some supplies first," she said. "Okay, you buy clothes and food, I'll get weapons and scrolls to teach them from Anko." "Right, meet here in 30 minutes," Kurenai said. Anko was leaving the ninja store with a ton of scrolls and weapons when she passed the Hokage's tower and smirked. Summoning no, she summoned 3 snakes. "Go in there and find anything that belongs to either Minato, Kushina, or Naruto," she said. "Ain't that stealing?" one of the snakes asked. "Yeah, I know, but I'm taking him out of the village to look for his mother and I need things that will help train him. Plus it technically belongs to Naruto since it's his inheritance anyway," Anko said. The snakes nodded and went into the tower. Anko arrived at Kurenai's apartment. "Well, let's get the kids, shall we?" she asked. "Yes, but first we need to seal all this stuff to make it easier to carry," Kurenai said. An hour later Anko and Kurenai were running away from the village with the 3 kids sleeping on one of Anko's summons. "Where do we start looking?" Anko asked. "I don't know, but we need a place to rest," Kurenai said. The next day outside of Konoha, Anko and Kurenai woke up early to prepare for what they would tell the 5-5-year-olds and the 6-year-old. Sometimes planning a kidnapping was more work than it needed to be, they both thought. Not surprised that Hinata was the first to wake up, or that she was terrified when she wasn't in her room. The resulting scream woke both Tenten and Naruto. Tenten screamed out, but Naruto took it in stride thinking he was beaten again and was in the old man's home. Anko and Kurenai looked at each other trying to decide what to do next. "Well, I guess we should explain what Kurenai said. I had the idea to help Naruto find his mother. I planned this entire thing out. In a few hours the village will think you 3 are dead, giving us time to get out of Fire Country and look for Kushina. Eventually they will notice that the bodies are a fake, but I'm hoping that they won't until a few more hours or days. If you want to go back, tell us now and I will have one of my summons take you to the village," Anko explained. "Awesome, you're going to help me find my mother. You are the best sister ever," Naruto said, jumping on Anko, hugging her. "I don't have to deal with my foster parents blaming me for everything and acting like their son never does anything. I'll like to show them how much of a pain I can be," Tenten said. "I'm happy to be with my friends and not look at them with hate, but I will miss my sister. She was only one," Hinata stuttered. Anko looked at Kurenai. "And sometimes it's easy," Kurenai said, knowing Anko was thinking the same thing. "Where do we start first?" Naruto asked. "First we have to eat breakfast. I'm starving." "I didn't get dinner last night," Anko said. "I'll cook something," Kurenai said. "Okay, now we need to set some ground rules, because we will need to be careful where we go and what we do for a while. For at least a few months, if not years, we want everyone in Konoha to think we are dead, Anko said. Do we have to have rules? Naruto complained. Yes Naruto, you want to find your mother right? Naruto nodded. Then trust me with these rules things will be easier for us all, Kurenai said. Okay now first, none of will go by our original names until we are ready to come out of hiding. Me and Kurenai will be either sister or sensei, Naruto will go by Scorpion, Tenten will go by Cat, and Hinata will go by Raptor, Anko said. We will travel at night and train and sleep during the day. You all will learn to cook, Kurenai said. You each will try and find your own summon, decide what weapon you want to specialize in, including you Tenten. I know you want to be a weapons mistress, which you can, but you need a basic weapon. You will start learning ninjutsu and to control your element when you turn 8. For now we will focus on weapons, taijutsu, and finding Kushina while making friends in important positions, Anko said. Hinata and Tenten will need to pick a new style of clothes, since Naruto just got his yesterday and no one saw it. He is safe, Kurenai said. Did you buy them some styles to choose from? Anko asked. You are not to tell anyone about where you are from. If someone asks, then you're traveling with your family, Kurenai said. When the food is done, I'm hungry, Naruto said. You have a one-track mind, Anko said. Hey, are you calling me stupid? Naruto asked. Hey, if the kunai fits, Anko said. Enough for you too, and breakfast is done, Kurenai said. For the rest of the day Kurenai and Anko taught the three the things they should learn if they had a loving family, starting with basic chakra control, then going to teach them taijutsu. That night Anko and Kurenai packed everything in a scroll and the 5 left the hotel heading towards grass country. They looked around once they got to the country. This looks like a good place to start their serious training, Kurenai said. I agree, no one should look for us here, and it has been a few days since we left so everything should be calmed down a little, Anko said. Hey, what does my mom look like? Naruto asked as he looked around at all the ladies that were in the small country. Well, she is about my height, has long red hair, blue eyes, always wears red, and has a katana on her back, Kurenai said. Like that, Tenten pointed to a kunoichi that had long red hair with a katana on her back walking with a blonde and black-haired woman. Anko and Kurenai looked over at her. Yeah, and that looks like Tsunade and Shizen, Anko said. Let's go find out if that is really her, Kurenai said. They walked up to them. Kushina Ozumaki, she asked. The red-haired kunoichi turned. Yes, who are you? She asked. Kurenai and Anko smiled. I'm Kurenai and this is Anko. We are from Konoha, so are these 3. We are looking for you, she said. Why are you looking for me? And I only see 2, not 3, Kushina said. When Kurenai looked around, Anko asked where Naruto went. I don't know if he was walking right behind us, Anko said. Wait, why are you looking for Kushina Tsunade? This letter, Kurenai said, handing the letter to Kushina. Kushina read the letter and her eyes went wide and she dropped it. My son is alive. Where is he? She asked. I don't know if he was just with us, Anko said. You lost him, Kushina yelled. Aw, sisters help when they hear a boy scream. Naruto, Anko and Kurenai yelled at the same time. Sisters, you said we can't use our names in public. His name is Scorpion, remember? Hinata stuttered. We know that, but this is an emergency, Kurenai said. She looked around and found Kushina already running to where the noise came from. Kushina turned the corner and stopped cold in her tracks. Carrie, what are you doing here? I didn't summon you, she asked the large scorpion that was licking Naruto. I know, but I found your son for you. It took longer than I thought, but I found him. I'm sure you read the letter. It was written by the mother, the scorpion said. What you did? I told you to stay out of my personal affairs, Kushina said. Why aren't you happy you have your son? Carrie asked. Well, yes, I'm happy. I want nothing more than to be with my son, but still you should have told me before you did it, Kushina said. Maybe, but mom wanted it to be a surprise. She even got the falcon to deliver the message, Carrie said. Fine, just don't do anything like this again. You know how much trouble they could be in for leaving their village, Kushina said. It's better if he wasn't in the village, the scorpion said. What do you mean? Kushina said. Well, before I told mom where he was, I watched him for a while to see if he would meet his mother now or if it would be too much for him to handle, and well, let's just say that he has a first-hand experience at almost dying, Carrie said. What, someone almost killed my son? Kushina asked. Yeah, Well, I have to report to Mom that you two have found each other, Carrie said, then puffed away, but not after licking Naruto one last time. Kushina and everyone else stood there for a minute not moving. Thinking about what the scorpion said. Sister, what was that? Is it some type of animal? Naruto asked, looking at Anko. That was a scorpion, Anko said. So my nickname is that animal? He asked. Yes, Anko said. So who are these people? Naruto asked. Naruto, Kushina asked. Yes, Naruto answered, confused. My baby is really alive. Kushina cried out, swooping him up and spinning him in the air a few times before she brought him into a hug. I'm so sorry I wasn't there to protect you, but I promise I will be the best mother ever, she said. Mom? Naruto asked. Yes, Kushina asked. Naruto just looked at her and threw his arms back around her neck in as tight a hug as he could. Mom, he cried. Kurenai, Anko, Tsunade, Shizune, Hinata, and Tenten watched them. This will be great for both of them, Kurenai said. I agree. I was about to give up on bringing her out of her 5-year-long depression, and a few times she tried to kill herself, Tsunade said. Son, you have to tell me everything about you. She then looked at his clothes. You're wearing the same thing I'm wearing, she added. Naruto smiled. These are my favorite clothes, he said. So what do you like to do for fun? Kushina asked. Well, I never get to do anything. No one in the village would let me go to the parks like the other kids, and I never had any friends, and they all called me monster, demon, or motherless demon brat. I don't even know what those mean, Naruto said. When you never went to the park? Tenten and Hinata yelled at the same time. Kushina abruptly stood up with Naruto and started to walk away. Where are you going? Tsunade asked. To the park, Kushina said, and kept walking. Hinata and Tenten ran to catch up with her. The four kunoichis looked at each other, then followed. They arrived at the park. What did you want to do first? Kushina asked. Naruto looked around. You mean I can really play here without being kicked out or hit? He asked. Yes, and if anyone tries to do anything to you, they will have to answer to me. Now go play. I'll be watching from the bench, Kushina said, pointing to a bench that was close by. Naruto looked excited, then turned to Hinata and Tenten. Will you play with me? He asked. Of course, let's go, Tenten said, and ran into the park with Hinata and Naruto close behind. Kushina sat on the bench and watched Naruto play with Tenten and Hinata. When the others came up, Kushina, are you okay? Tsunade asked. Yeah, why? Kushina asked. Well, you was depressed for the last 5 years, even trying to kill yourself, Tsunade said. Well, that's when I thought my son was dead, Kushina said. You know the old man tried to keep the scorpion from looking for you, Anko said. I believe it, he was the bastard that told me Naruto was dead, Kushina said. I thought that Danzo and Fugaku told you what, Anko said. Like I would believe anything those two say, Kushina said. So what will you do now? Shizune asked. Well, I'm going home, Kushina said. Home? Kurenai asked. Yes, the Ozumaki has 2 branches, one from Whirlpool and another from Suna. I am the only member of the family who has a parent from both branches, and I'm going back home to Suna, Kushina. Oh, so we headed straight there? Anko asked. Well, I guess I have no reason to hang around here anymore, Kushina said. What are we going to do? Shizune asked Tsunade. Well, I guess we can stay with them for a while to train them a little in medics, Tsunade said. You know I can make you honorary parts of the Ozumaki clan, Kushina told them. Fine with me, Naruto already thinks of me as a sister, Anko said. Me to Kurenai said. You can do it if you want, Shizune, Tsunade said. What about you? Shizune asked. Tsunade shrugged. I'm not sure, besides I don't think Suna will try and prevent a Sannin and medic expert from coming into their village if I'm going to help improve their medical training to be the best, she said. They spent a few hours in the park watching the 3 play around. When they walked up to them, we're hungry, Naruto said. Well, let's go get something to eat, Kushina said. They started to walk through the country, so let me make sure I have the names right. Naruto is named Scorpion, Hinata is a raptor, and Tenten is a cat, Kushina asked. Yup, Anko said. Why those names? Kushina asked. Don't know, those are the first thing I thought of when I gave them the names, Anko said. I see, Kushina said.
I must say you are much happier than you have been the last few years, Tsunade told Kushina.
Kushina shrugged. How long do you think it will take to get to Suna, she asked. A week at most, Tsunade said. The village of Konoha woke up the day of the murder and it was like any other day, except the village has yet to see the blonde pain in its ass. The owners of the weapon shop haven't seen their adopted daughter in almost 12 hours when she stormed out after they punished her for knocking over the kunais and blaming it on their precious little boy, and Hayashi was having a peaceful breakfast, well, as peaceful as someone can have with a crying 1-year-old. Where the hell is that failure? Only she can stop that damn baby from crying, he thought. As the day went on, the Hokage got worried, because not only did Naruto not come to get his morning serving of ramen, he missed his lunch serving also. Not that he was complaining, he could use the money he was saving not paying for the food, but still. And add on the fact that neither Anko or Kurenai showed up to work, and there is a report that Hanabi has not stopped crying since she woke up. Yes, something is wrong, the third thought, getting up from his chair and walking out the office. He arrived at the Hyuga compound and was let in with no hesitation. Lord Hokage, what do I owe the pleasure? Hayashi asked from the main family door. I heard a report that Hanabi hasn't stopped crying since she woke up. Yes, do you know why? Hayashi asked. I have an idea, but it involves Hinata. If she woke up, the third person asked. No, Hayashi said. Ain't she usually the first one woke? The third asked. Yes, maybe she is tired, Hayashi said, shrugging. Can I go see her? The third asked. Sure, don't know why anyone would bother with her though, Hayashi said, and led him to Hinata's room. Hayashi opened the door and the third walked in. Hinata, he called. No response, not even the slight movement made while sleeping. Hinata, the third called louder. Weird, Hinata is a light sleeper, usually waking up at the slightest noise that isn't normal, Hayashi said. The third walked up to her bed and gave her a slight shake and was shocked. Hayashi, Hinata is not asleep, he said. What do you mean? Hayashi asked. What I mean is she is dead. Look, the third turned her over and a kunai was stuck in her lungs with her own hand holding the kunai and blood staining her purple sheets. She killed herself sometime last night, the third said. Hayashi looked at her. At least she prevented the Byakugan from falling into the enemy hands and took the problem of always having to protect her off my hands, he said, and walked out. Hayashi, don't you feel anything from losing your daughter? The third asked. No, I'm not even 100% sure she was my daughter. I don't think Hanabi is either, Hayashi said, then walked out the room. The third shook his head. I wonder if he whispered in Sunshine out to Naruto's apartment. Naruto, he called, walking through to his room. He looked at his bed and was shocked to find he also killed himself with a kunai into his lungs. The third let a teardrop. Why would Hinata and Naruto kill themselves? The third asked me to walk out of the apartment. His feet led him to the weapons shop. Do you mind if I check on something with Tenten? He asked. Sure, the owner said as if he didn't care. The third walked to her room and found her in the same position as Hinata and Naruto. He walked out. You know, Tenten is dead, he said. So, she wasn't anything but a pest and nuisance, he said. The third shook his head and walked out. 3 of the missing 5 people all killed themselves. Would Kurenai and Anko, he thought. Nah, those 2 wouldn't do that. He dismissed the thought and went back to the Hokage's tower. Little did he know that inside both Anko's and Kurenai's was 2 corpses laying on the bed. Both was tied down with chakra rope, gagged, raped, and killed. If he went into the rooms, he would have saw that both led right to the current head of the Hyuga and Uchiha clans, but since he didn't, the 2 would die without anyone knowing, and the evidence accusing the 2 clan heads of multiple counts of rape over the past years would be unnoticed. All the evidence needed to convict the 2 rapists would never be found, since the building the 2 were living in mysteriously went up in fire after said Hyuga and Uchiha head went to investigate the missing kunoichis. Of course they didn't rape them and they knew it, but the evidence against them for the other rapes was too much to let get out. The 2 nodded to each other after the building burnt down and went back to their compounds. In Grass Country, Kushina woke up in her hotel room with Naruto looking down at her. Naruto, what are you doing? She asked. I just wanted to make sure you were real. I had lots of dreams about meeting you, and when I woke up you never were there, Naruto said. Kushina smiled. Come on, get in bed. It's still early. You can lay with me for a few hours, she said. Naruto climbed in and laid his head on her arm. Love you, mom, he said. I love you too, sweetie, Kushina replied, and both fell back asleep. Tsunade went into the room to wake Kushina up and stop at the sight. Shizen brought her camera in here, she called down the hallway. Why did Shizun call back? Just bring it, you will see, Tsunade said. Shizun walked out of her room with her camera. Why did you need my camera?
Look, Tsunade pointed.
Shizun looked at them and smiled. That's so cute, she said, taking a few pictures. Yeah, I almost hate to wake them up, Tsunade said. A week later. The group arrived in Suna, passing the guard.
We don't have anything, Kushina said.
Then I can't allow you to enter without the Kazekage's permission, the guard said. Well, go get the old coat, Kushina said, thinking the Kazekage was still her uncle. You will do well to show respect to the Kazekage when he gets here, the guard said. Whatever, Kushina said. A few minutes later, the Kazekage came to the gate. What's so important that I had to come to this gate? You're not the old coot, Kushina said, shocked. I don't know an old coot, but you will do well to watch your tone, the Kazekage said. Yeah, whatever, me and my family are here and this idiot won't let us in, Kushina. Where are your passes, the Kazekage said. I didn't know that being the head of the Owazumaki clan, I needed a pass to enter the village when we were one of the founding houses of this village, Kushina said. I will not have any of your remarks, now if you don't have a pass you won't come in, the Kazekage said. The Owazumaki family has been a major part of this village since before you were born, Kushina said. Kushina, maybe we should go to another village, Anko said. No, I have more right to come to this village than he has to being a Kage of this village, by all rights I should be the Kazekage, Kushina said. I will not be insulted by a mere peasant like you, the Kazekage said, getting ready to fight. Peasant, why you little shit, if it wasn't for my uncle this village would have been crushed by Konoha, if it wasn't for my 5 generations grandfather this village wouldn't be here, now get out of my way or I will put you in your place, the middle of the desert, Kushina said as sand started to float and form around her. You can use the iron sand, the Kazekage stuttered. I told you once, that this village was made by the Owazumaki clan. The only difference between this village and Whirlpool was that Whirlpool never had the chance to take root with all the fighting IWA does, Kushina said without stopping the use of her bloodline. Alright mom, you rock, Naruto yelled. Well, come in, don't let me stop you, the Kazekage said. I wasn't, Kushina said and shoved the Kazekage out of her way. Naruto, Tenten, and Hinata quickly followed, all wanting to know how to do what she did. Mom, how did you do what Naruto asked? Yes, Kushina, that was awesome, Tenten said. Can we learn to do it? Hinata asked. Kushina laughed, slow down one question at a time, Scorpion, it is something that most Owazumakis from Suna can do, Raptor, I can't teach you to do it just like you can't teach me to use the Byakugan, the only one that can learn to use it is Naruto, she said. I get to learn to use that, awesome. Wait, what's the Byakugan? Naruto asked. It involves the eyes are called, there are a total of 3 that I know of so far, the Byakugan, which is what I have, the Sharingan that the Uchihas have, and the Rinnegan. Much is known about that one though, Hinata said. Very good, Raptor, Kushina praised. Mom, where are we going? Naruto asked. To the Owazumaki compound, Kushina said. As they walked through the village, Hinata, Tenten, and Naruto looked around the extremely hot and plainly colored village. Kushina looked, Tenten said, pointing to a boy in the park. Kushina looked at where Tenten was pointing. That boy, what's his name? She asked. Gara, the Kazekage said. Kushina asked who his parents were. I'm his father, his mother is dead, the Kazekage said. What family was she from? Kushina asked. If you're wondering, he is not related to you, the Kazekage said. Then how is it possible for him to use sand? It's a bloodline only known to my clan, Kushina said. He said Shikaku in him, the Kazekage said. Why, my uncle sealed it in a teapot. How did it get in? That boy, Kushina asked. There were complications, the Kazekage said. Complications? The seal was perfect, created by 3 of the best seal masters to walk this earth, my uncle, Minato, and Jiraiya, Kushina said. I know who created it, people were trying to break the seal to use Shikaku's power, the Kazekage said. Kushina looked at him, if I find out you're telling me a lie I'll kill you, she said. Mom, can we go play with him? Naruto asked. I'll take them, Kurenai said. Okay, behave you 3, Kushina said. Kurenai led them over to the park. Hey, what's your name? I'm Scorpion. How did you do that with the sand? My mom can do it, she said. It's called I will learn to do it one day. Want to play with us? Do you have any brothers or sisters? Do you have any friend? I have 2 friends and 2 sisters. Why did those kids run from you?
What's a monster? Naruto asked really fast.
The boy looked at Naruto confused. Huh, he asked.
I'll translate for you. What's your name? Tenten asked.
Gaara, he said.
Okay, Gaara, how did you do that stuff with the sand? Tenten asked.
Well, I don't know, it just happens, Gaara said. Okay, do you have any brothers or sisters?
Tenten asked.
I have an older sister and brother.
Temari is much nicer than Kankuro though, Gaara said.
Do you have any friends?
Tenten asked.
Not only Temari plays with me, Gaara said. Why did those kids run from you?
Tenten asked.
Because I have Shikaku in me, they say I'm a monster, Gaara said. Is that the same as a demon? At our last home I was called a demon a lot, Naruto said.
I think so, Gaara said.
Oh, want to play with us? We are new here and don't know anyone, Naruto asked.
Okay, Gaara said, unsure.
Cool, let's play tag, Naruto said.
Okay, you're it, Scorpion, Tenten said.
No fair, cat, Naruto whined. Why are you afraid you can't catch us?
Tenten teased while running.
Oh, you're on, I'm going to catch all of you, Naruto said. Running into the park was a blonde-haired girl. No, I'm late. I hope Gaara didn't get into any trouble, she said. She stopped when she heard laughter and looked to see Gaara playing with some kids.
Gaara made friends without me, she asked herself.
She ran up to them. Hey, who are you? You better not have hurt my brother, she said.
No, Temari, they asked me to play with them. They wanted to be my friend, Gaara said happily. Temari looked at Gaara, then at the 3 in back. They didn't hurt you or make fun of you, did they? She asked.
No, we were playing tag, Gaara said. Oh, well good, then I don't have to hurt them, Temari said.
Hi, I'm Scorpion, Naruto said. Scorpion, you're named after an animal, Temari asked, confused.
We all are, that's Raptor and Cat, Naruto said, pointing at Hinata and Tenten.
Why are you named after animals? Temari asked.
They are not our real names, we have to go by those names until our sisters tell us we can go by our real names, Hinata said.
Oh, what's your real name? Temari asked. We can't tell you, Hinata said. Want to play tag with us? Naruto asked.
A week later.
Kushina was sitting in the living room when Naruto and Hinata came in. Mom, we are bored, Naruto said.
Why don't you go play? Kushina asked.
We just came from playing, Naruto said.
Kushina thought, well, I can start your basic training now, she said. Really, I get to learn to do that sand thing now, Naruto asked. Not quite yet, go find Tenten and bring her back here and we can get started, Kushina said. Hinata and Naruto happily ran out the compound looking for Tenten. They found her at the park with Temari, Gaara, and some guy. Hey cat, mom said come home and she will start our basic training, Naruto said.
Hinata asked the other boy.
He is my brother Kankuro. Gaara came home bragging about having more friends than him, so he wanted to see if it was true, Temari said.
Oh, Hinata said. Well, come on, Cat and Raptor, we get to start training today, Naruto said.
You know, Scorpion, this ain't the first time we trained in the basics, Tenten said. I know that, but this time it's official, like our first steps towards the ninja lifestyle, Naruto said. He just wants to learn to use his, Hinata said.
I realize what Tenten said.
Well, let's go, Naruto urged.
Okay, Scorpion, we are coming, Tenten said. Hey, can we come with you? No one is at home, Temari asked.
Sure, I'll ask mom when we get there, Naruto said.
They all ran to the Ozumaki compound. Mom, Naruto yelled. In the living room, Kushina yelled back. Naruto ran into the living room. Can Temari, Gaara, and their brother join us?
Sure, now let's go, Kushina said, getting up and leading them to the back. Once they got to the back, Kushina lined them up in a line and stood in front of them. Okay, first you all need to learn to access your chakra, she said. Kushina, I learned how to access my chakra at the academy last year, Temari said. I learned how to do it this year, Kankuro said. Well, just wait until the rest can access theirs, it shouldn't take long, Kushina said.
I can feel my chakra, Hinata said. Tenten said shortly after they started. Mom, I feel 2 chakras which Naruto asked me to use. Does one feel like it's blue and the other black, Kushina asked. One feels red and the other blue, Naruto said.
Well, for now ignore the red one and try and access the blue one, Kushina said. A few minutes later Naruto smiled. I got it, Mom, he said.
Good. Gaara, how is it going, Kushina asked.
Well, I only feel a brown chakra, he said.
Really, you don't feel any other color, Kushina asked.
Gaara concentrated harder. I do when I concentrate really hard, but it's hard to get it to come out, he said.
Okay, just concentrate on accessing what you can on the other color. For now I want you to focus on that one, Kushina said.
Okay, Gaara said. The rest of you, since you can access your chakra, are going to work on chakra control.
The first thing you need to learn is to focus the chakra in one area of your body, Kushina said.
How do we do that?
Mom, Naruto asked.
Well, you all will practice walking up the wall, Kushina said, pointing to the compound.
What do we do? I'll show you. Kushina turned and calmly walked up the wall.
When you first start you need to focus on it, but once you learn how to do it then you will be able to do it without thinking, she said.
How did you do that? Naruto yelled. Anyone wants to try and describe how I did it? Kushina asked. Hinata raised her hand. Okay, Hinata gave it a shot, Kushina said.
Well, I'm not sure, but I think it's the same thing as when I try and activate my Byakugan. You have to single out the part of the body you want the chakra to go to. Once it's there you need to learn how much is needed for a particular thing to happen, in this case walking up the wall. So I guess that once we get our chakra to our feet we will have to test it by putting our foot on the wall and see if it sticks. If it don't then we have to try again until we get it right. If it does then we should be able to put our other foot on the wall and hopefully we have it right and we can walk up it.
If not we fall and hurt ourselves, Hinata said. Nice job, Hinata, that's exactly how you do it, and I like how you compared it to activating your Byakugan, Kushina said.
So we have to focus chakra to our feet, Naruto asked.
Correct, I want you all to practice this while I work with Gaara. If you need help, don't be afraid to ask for it.
That's why I'm here, Kushina said.
Kushina went over to Gaara. How is it coming, she asked. I can feel it, but I can't do anything with it, Gaara said.
I see, I know someone who can help you with that, but it might take a while for them to get here, Kushina said.
Okay, I will continue practicing until they get here, Gaara said. Kushina, we have a problem, Anko said, running into the back. Kushina asked, what's wrong?
Konoha is here. Word got out about the Ozumaki clan coming back to Suna, and Naruto being named after you caused the Hokage to send someone here, Anko said.
This is a problem, Kushina said. What's wrong, Mom? Naruto asked. Nothing, son, continue to practice wall walking, Kushina said. What should we do? We can't leave, it would look suspicious, Anko said.
I know, Kushina thought for a minute. I got it. You and Kurina go put on some of my clothes and change your looks. You both know that to change your hair and eye color use that, and come up with a new name. Hurry because we will need to know your names until they leave. I'll take care of Naruto, Hinata, and Tenten, Kushina said.
Okay, but what about you? Anko asked.
I have nothing to worry about. I never became a Konoha Kunoichi, and as head of the Ozumaki clan they can't do anything to me without causing war between Kiri, Suna, and Konoha, Kushina.
Kiri asked. Why, Kiri? Anko asked.
Our Whirlpool branch had a treaty with them, and it extended to all Ozumakis, even the branch living in Suna.
I sent a letter to the Mizukage.
I have a meeting with her in a few weeks, Kushina said.
Oh, well, we will be back, Anko said and ran into the house. Naruto, Tenten, and Hinata, come here, Kushina said.
The three walked up to her. Listen carefully, Konoha sent some ninjas here to find out if one of you are from Konoha. Since I decided to start the clan back up, I'm going to change your hair, eyes, and voice. These changes will only last until they leave, then I will end them.
Also, don't say anything that will make anyone think you haven't lived with me your entire lives, okay, she said.
Yes, they all said.
Kushina proceeded to change their basic looks and voice. Good, Raptor, you look good with blue eyes and hair, she said. What color is mine? Mom? Naruto asked.
Yours eyes are bluish purple and your hair is red like mine, you look quite handsome if I do say so myself, Kushina said.
Kushina Tenten asked me.
Your eyes are light green and your hair is blonde, Kushina told her.
I'm a blonde, Tenten asked.
What's wrong with being a blonde, Tamari asked. Nothing, just never figured I would change my hair color to be a blonde, Tenten said.
Anko and Kurenai came out of the house in different clothes and their hair and eye color changed.
Kushina looked at them and laughed. Did you peek when I changed their eyes and hair color, she asked. No, I just picked a random color, Kurenai said. I picked a color I would never think of, Anko said. Well, since you look the part, I suggest that Kurenai play the role of Hinata's mother while Anko plays the role of Tenten's mother, Kushina said. That's a good idea, now let's go meet them, Anko said. Let's, you all stay here and can continue to train, Kushina said. The three walked to the front of the compound and saw Jiraiya. The three sweat dropped. What are you doing here, Kushina asked. I'm here to visit you, but did you know that a group of Kunins from Konoha, Jiraiya asked. I knew that, but I thought they sent you, Kushina. Why would I care? I have a life outside of that village, Jiraiya said. I know that, pervert, Kushina said. Is this the Ozumaki compound, Konoha asked. Depends on who wants to know, Kushina said. I'm Hei-8 and I'm here with Ganma and Kakashi, he said. They just had to send that pervert, Kushina groaned. What's the matter, Sister Kurenai asked about getting into her role as Kushina's younger sister. Nothing, just we have the two biggest perverts ever trying to get into our house, Kushina said. I guess we better get this over with so we can get back to training our kids, Anko said. I guess, can you wait here for Jiraiya-sensei while I deal with Konoha, Kushina? Sure, I saw someone I needed to catch up with anyway, Jiraiya said. Okay, oh, I need your help with something later, Kushina said. Right, later, Jiraiya said and walked away. Well, you three, are you coming, Anko asked and turned to walk into the house. What exactly are you looking for? Kurenai asked. We need to see any other people living here or named Ozumaki, Hei-8 said. Fine, follow us, Kurenai said, and the three kunoichis led them out to the yard. You can look and see which are our kids and which are just friends of theirs, Kurenai said. The three walked up to the kids. They immediately knew Gaara wasn't one because of the dark look on his face, and he looked like the Kazekage. They next eliminated Kankuro based on the same thing as Gaara. They came to Tenten and Temari. These two look like they could be the blonde ladies, Gemma said. Yes, but none are a male, Hei-8 said. Yes, the blue-haired girl is clearly the blue-haired lady's daughter, but it's the red-haired boy that I'm curious about, Kakashi said. Why, Hei-8 asked. Because, Kushina and Sensei only had one kid, Naruto, and this certainly ain't Naruto, or it isn't just Undera or something, Kakashi said, looking at Naruto, who started to get nervous under his gaze. We would have noticed already, Hei-8 said. No, we wouldn't have. Kushina was the second best kunoichi to ever step in Konoha behind Kurenai. Now Kurenai and Anko come up missing and these two pop up claiming to be related to Kushina, Kakashi said. What are you getting at, Hei-8 asked. Kushina once said that her entire family was killed, Kakashi said. How? It would be almost impossible to know if the entire family was killed. The Ozumaki clan had two branches, one here in Suna, the other in Whirlpool, but the one in Whirlpool had a good relationship with Kiri. They could have easily fled to Kiri when Civil War started to spill over into Whirlpool, Hei-8 said. Yes, that would explain the other two and their daughters, but that doesn't explain him. Kushina only had one child, Kakashi said. How can you be so sure? The Hokage did run her out of the village before she was healed. She could have easily had twins, Hei-8 said. Not likely, Kakashi said. Just like it's not likely that of all the places in the world Kyuubi decided to attack Konoha on the day Kushina is having her baby, Hei-8 asked. I'm telling you, Naruto faked his death and ran away from the village. He somehow was found by Kushina and brought here. This is what Naruto, Kakashi said. Wait, what if it is? What will you do? Not like Kushina will let us walk out of here with her son, Gunma asked. He already faked his death. My order was to eliminate anyone who was a fraud, Kakashi said. And again, what makes you so sure this is Naruto and not another kid? Hell, he could be adopted for all we know, Gunma asked. Call it instinct, I know it's him, Kakashi said, not taking his eyes off Naruto. Mom, Hinata said. Okay, enough. What are you three whispering about? Either say it out loud or get the hell out of our home, Kurenai said. And stop glaring at my son Kakashi or I'll take your only good eye, Kushina said.
The Hokage gave me orders to bring Naruto back to Konoha, Kakashi said.
The Hokage, the same Hokage who told me that Naruto was dead, the same Hokage who created a corpse out of a dead child's body, the same Hokage who ran me out of the village before I was fully recovered from giving birth. The same fucking Hokage who failed to follow Minato's wishes by giving me the house and scrolls he left for me and my son who your Hokage told me was dead, the same Hokage who up until now had absolutely no interest in my safety or if I was alive until he heard me and my sisters was restarting the Ozumaki clan with our 3 kids here in Suna. The same fucking Hokage who has no damn morals, the same fucking Hokage who let a fucking perverted sadistic child molester go free after he found out he killed kids, helpless women, and men for his experiments because he couldn't bring himself to kill his favorite student. That Hokage is trying to tell me what to do. No tellur if he ever send anyone after me, my sisters, or our kids we will kill whoever he send, Kushina said. As she went through that she got angrier and angrier until she had her iron sand bloodline spinning around her. I think you have worn out your welcome, I suggest you leave or we will kill you, Anko said. And don't think about touching anything on your way out, Kurenai said. As the 3 walked out the yard, a lady walked in. She looked at the 3 then continued to walk towards Kushina, Anko, and Kurenai. Hello Anko and Kurenai, she said once she was sure that the 3 were out of hearing distance. I don't know who you are, but you have the wrong people, Anko said. The lady rolled her eyes. Don't play games with me, Anko. You almost had me fooled with those fake bodies and the rape you tried to put on Hayashi and Fugaku. But you forget I know you 2 better than anyone in that village. Besides Anko, I saw you 2 leave the village while I was on patrol, she said. Okay, you got them. Now who are you? Kushina asked. Yugugo, Kurenai and Anko said at the same time. Yup, how could you 2 do something like this and not include me? I thought we were best friends, Yugugo said. Sorry, we were going to write to you and let you know what was going on, but we needed to wait until everything died down, Anko said. But you still did all this without me, Yugugo said. It would have been too obvious if we included you, Kurenai said. To who, Hayashi didn't even care that Hinata was dead, only that no one could stop Hanabi from crying. Tenten's adopted parents was the same, and the only people who was worried about Naruto was me and Tucci and to an extent the Hokage, Yugugo said. Fine, we are sorry we didn't include you, but it's not like the plan was well thought out anyway. Anko came up with it 2 hours before we left the village. We had to scramble to get enough food, clothes, weapons, and cover our escape, Kurenai said. Fine, next time don't do anything like that without me, Yugugo said. Deal, Anko and Kurenai said. Wait, how did you get out of the village, Kushina asked. I'm supposed to be on a mission. I staged my death, bloody clothes, the 8 sliced off my head, broke my ANBU sword. I think I did a pretty convincing job, Yugugo said. You thought this through to the end, didn't you, Anko asked. Unlike you, I planned this out since I saw your dead bodies. The moment I saw them I knew you weren't dead, but finding you 2 is damn near impossible when you want it to be, Yugugo said. How did you find us? Kurenai asked. I heard about the Ozumaki clan starting up and put 2 and 2 together. Naruto dead, you 2 faked your deaths, then add Hinata and Tenten just to spit into Konoha's face, and now Kushina wants to organize her clan again after what happened to her. Really, anyone who looked at the clues could have figured that you was here, but lucky for you. Only I went to look at your dead bodies, and the Hokage didn't even check Naruto's body, he just looked at it from his bedroom door. The body still had Anko's smell on them, Yugugo said. No one else figured it out, Kushina asked. No, Hayashi and Fugaku burnt the building Anko and Kurenai's body was in so no one would find their body and the evidence pointing to them for all those rapes, and the building Naruto was living in was set to be torn down anyway, Yugugo said. Well, now Anko asked. I don't know about you, Anko, but I'm going to officially adopt Hinata Kurenai. I could adopt Tenten, she reminds me of myself at her age, Anko said. So Kushina, can I become an honorary member of the clan, Yugugo asked. Of course, anyone who treats my son as if he was their friend is a friend of mine, Kushina said. Mom, I got it, I can walk on the wall, Hinata cheered on the side of the wall. Hinata, you know you don't have to keep up the act, and stop doing that or you will fall, Kurenai said. Oh, Hinata then lost her control and fell off the wall. Hinata, Kurenai yelled and ran to catch her. Hinata, you have to be more careful, she said. Hinata smiled up at her. Sorry, I was just happy, she said. I know you're happy, but be more careful, Kurenai said.
Hinata said. So Hinata is your name, Kankura said. That's Raptor to you, Hinata retorted. Kushina, I'm back. What did you need me to help you with? Jiraiya called out, walking into the back. Oh Jiraiya, I need you first to look at the seal on Naruto to make sure that it's still working properly, then look at the seal on Gaara Kushina.
Sure, Jiraiya looked at them. Which one is Naruto, he asked.
That's me, Naruto said.
Jiraiya looked at his red hair and bluish-purple eyes. Aren't you supposed to have blonde hair and blue eyes, he asked.
I changed them so I didn't have to deal with Konoha at the moment, Kushina said. Jiraiya nodded. Well, lift your shirt so I can see your seal, he said.
He looked over the seal. It's perfect. Now where is Gaara, he asked.
Gaara got up. That's me, he said.
Well, show me your seal, Jiraiya said.
Gaara took off his shirt to show the seal on his shoulder.
Jiraiya looked at it. Whoever did this really screwed up. This can barely hold a bug, let alone a tailed beast, he said. It doesn't. Shikaku has all but ruined Gaara's life so far, as if it's trying to make him insane, Temari said. I wouldn't doubt it's doing that. I can improve the seal, but not by much. The best I can do is add a seal to it. This new seal will at best control how much influence Shikaku has over you, Jiraiya said.
Will I be able to sleep?
Gaara said. I'm not sure, but I can try. But remember, I'm not making any promises, Jiraiya said.
Okay, I'll take my chances, Gaara said.
Jiraiya started to make marks on Gaara with a brush while going through one-hand signs and whispering to himself.
This continued for the next hour when Jiraiya stopped. There, I'm done.
This seal works off your emotions and feelings.
As long as you don't let your emotions become too dark, you can keep Shikaku back, he said.
Thank you, Gaara said and fell back unconscious.
Is he okay? Naruto asked.
We will find out in a few hours, Jiraiya said. He will pick him up. I'm going to take him to Tsunade in the hospital, he said, and walked off.
Well, get back to training, Kushina said. Yugugo walked into the living room and saw Kushina sitting there reading a scroll.
You might be interested in something I found in Naruto's room before I left, she said.
Kushina asked.
A marriage contract, Yugugo said, handing it to her.
Kushina took it and read and smiled, leaving it to Tsum to do something like this, she said.
What do you mean? I didn't read the entire thing, just enough to know what it was, Yugugo asked. Tsum wrote up this contract for Naruto and Hana. She even explained what it was and how it worked. She also wrote this as the only way she would be able to protect him, Kushina said.
So what will you do? Yugugo asked.
I'm going to sign it. She had good intentions and was trying to help Kushina.
In Konoha.
Tsum was sitting at the kitchen table when a dragon flew in the window and dropped the scroll in front of her. Thanks, Tsum said in confusion.
The dragon then puffed out of the realm of people.
Tsum blinked and opened the scroll. Her eyes widened in surprise. Hana got in here, she yelled. Hana came running in the kitchen. What's wrong, Mom, she asked.
Remember that marriage scroll we sent to Naruto, Tsum asked. Yeah, we never found out if he would have liked to marry me or not.
We just did, Tsum said. Hana read the scroll, but I thought the Hokage said, how did he get to Suna and who is Kushina? We will find out soon enough that we have been invited to visit them, Tsum said.
Is Kiba coming? Hana asked.
No, the invitation was just for the two of us, Tsum said.
In Suna. Kushina stood in the back with Naruto training in chakra control.
Naruto wanted to go meet the Mizukage with me later this week, she asked.
Really, I can tell Naruto is excited. Of course, Kushina said. Yay, Naruto cheered. 3 days later. Tsum and Hana came to the main gate riding on Kuro, Tsum's dog. Hello, we are here to meet Kushina Ozumaki, Tsum said.
Yes, she told me you would be coming. Go right on through, the guard said. They walked up to the compound. Mom.
What if he doesn't like me? Hana asked nervously.
Don't worry, sweetie, he enjoyed your company when he was still in Konoha, Tsum said. That's because I was the only person who would play with him, even though he smelled like a fox, Hana said. There is a reason for that smell, Tsum said.
I know, but can you tell me why, Hana asked.
I can't say, that's his secret and his responsibility to tell you, Tsum said as the compound door opened.
Welcome to the Ozumaki compound, I'm Kushina, the head of the clan. Kushina said. Sum is the head of the Inazuka clan and this is my daughter Hana, heir to the clan, Sum said. Well, come in, Hana can go play in the back until the kids come back from the park, it won't be long since it's almost lunchtime. Kushina said. Hana took Koro to the back and didn't leave the yard, Sum said. Yes mom, Hana said and walked through the house with the giant dog. Cute kid, Kushina said. Yes, it reminds me of myself, Sum said. Tea, Kushina offered. Yes please, Sum said. Kushina got them both some tea. So why are you so interested in marrying Hana off to Naruto? It's not because he is the son of the Yandame, is it? She asked. No, actually I got the idea from them too. They would play like they were married at times, then they would play ninja with Koro, my dog, then they would act like brothers and sisters, then go back to playing husband and wife, Sum said. I see, Naruto never mentioned having a playmate, Kushina said. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't, Sum said. So would you say you and Naruto have a good relationship? Kushina asked. I would say he has a better relationship with Koro than with me. Sum laughed. Kushina laughed lightly. I can believe that Kirai, my scorpion summon, has taken a liking to him, Gamabunta and his two kid toads have taken a liking to him, and most animals here in Suna like him, she said. I think that's what made Hana start liking him, his willingness to adapt and learn what animals like and want without being able to speak to them, Sum said. Really, tell me more, Kushina said. Well, the first time he went to the compound, Hana was in the cattles feeding the dogs when Naruto ran up to help her. He would constantly sneak into the compound at night and have conversations with the dogs, even though we don't know what they are saying. He had a lot of fun pretending by himself. One day Hana decided to play a prank on him and every time he would say something she would answer for the dogs after telling them not to bark. Naruto thought he could speak to dogs. It was so cute seeing him so excited about having someone answer his questions without the hateful looks in their eyes. Unknown to Naruto, that was the first time he had a conversation with someone his own age. After that night Hana begged me to let him come over more to play with the dogs. She wasn't even thinking of herself, but how much fun the dogs was having with Naruto. Eventually she started to join him. I think Naruto started to develop a way of understanding dogs to a certain extent, Sum said. Kushina smiled. I wish I could have been there for that. I bet it was so exciting to watch the two interact with all the dogs, and it may have been an effect of having Kyuubi seal him. Foxes and dogs are cousins after all. It was, but I had Naruto promise not to tell anyone he was coming over, Sum said. Why would you do that? Kushina asked. Because, almost no one in Konoha likes Naruto. I even saw someone kill a cat who Naruto gave his only food to because it was hungry. Can you imagine what would happen if anyone knew I was allowing him in the Inazuka compound? No matter how much I like him, I have to look out for my family. If someone found out he was playing with Hana a few nights every week and something happened to her, well, I don't know what I would have done, so I made him promise not to say anything, not even to the Hokage. I guess he felt his promise meant he couldn't tell you either, Sum said. I understand, you did what was best for everyone. Naruto gets a friend and your family stays safe, Kushina said. Yes, but sometimes I wish I could have done more. That was one reason for the marriage contract, and because the two just had so much fun together while playing, Sum said. But what would have happened if people knew you had a contract with him? Then wouldn't they try and stop it? Kushina asked. Well yeah, but I wasn't going to say anything until he became a genin. Also part of the contract said I would train him every night once he started the academy, Sum said. Speaking of the contract, you are aware that he has the option to marry multiple females if he pleases? Kushina asked. Yes, I'm aware of that. I even told Hana about him having a bloodline and being able to marry multiple women. She said that she will only love Naruto even if she has to share him. Her only worry is he won't like her anymore, Sum said. Also, I would like it if Hana moved here once they were old enough to marry, for obvious reasons, Kushina said. Well, with Hana being clan heir makes it difficult. Our clan just can't appoint a new heir because of marriage contracts. A new heir or head can only be appointed when the current one dies, Sum said. So Hana will have to still serve as the head of the Inazuka clan even if she marries Naruto? Kushina asked. Exactly, and her being here makes that difficult, and I don't want him to have to come to Konoha, Sum said. Let's think of a solution on this problem later. I want to know, how can one marry into another clan and still be head of their previous clan? Usually when one marries into another clan, the female will drop her position and become part of the male's clan. But there are a few times when the male dropped his position and went to the female's clan, Kushina said.
I realized that there are times when there was a representative for the head. For instance, my grandfather married into another clan and used a representative for things he wasn't needed for, and another time my great-grandfather moved in with my great-grandmother even though he was the head of a smaller clan. Since his clan was small enough they combined it with our clan, that's where we got our branch family from. They even learned some of our jutsus even though they will never have a true Inazuka ability, they are still treated as equals, Tsum said. Good to know we have those options, but I still don't see how that would work, Kushina said. I know we have a real problem, never having someone married back into a village they previously left, Tsum said. I know, I'm starting to think all Ozumakis defy all types of logic, Kushina said. Tsum laughed, like a mother like a son, she said. What makes you say that, Kushina asked, laughing. You survive after basically being kicked out the village right after birth, when any other woman wouldn't have even been able to walk. You were fine for who knows how long. Naruto has received a beating so bad that most would have died, yet you both are fine as if nothing bad happened to either of you, Tsum said. Kushina nodded. I was on my own for 2 months before Tsunade found and healed me. Of course I tried to find ways to die so I can join Naruto in the afterlife, she said. See, like mother like son, you both have this weird ability to stay alive when you should be dead, and you're right, you two defy all aspects of the word logic, Tsum said. Mom, is lunch ready? Naruto asks, running into the house with Hinata and Tenten close behind him. In Naruto we have a visitor, Kushina said. Naruto looked at the visitor. Tsum-san, he said with excitement. You remember me, but if I remember correctly you had blonde hair last time I saw you, Tsum said, hugging him. Mom changed my hair and eyes to hide from Konoha, but changed my eyes back. I asked her to keep my hair the same so it can be the same as hers, Naruto said. You look good with red hair. Guess who is in the back? Tsum said. Who? Tell me please. Oh wait, I know, it's Koro, isn't it? Naruto said, hopping from leg to leg. Yes, Koro and Hana, Tsum said as she watched his face light up with excitement. Hana, Naruto called out at the top of his lungs and ran through the house to the yard. Tsum and Kushina laughed, slowing down Naruto. She isn't going anywhere, Kushina called after him. Who is Hana? Hinata. Oh, Hinata Tenten, this is Tsum Inazuka, head of the Inazuka clan, and her daughter is Hana, heir of the clan. Hana and Naruto are friends, Kushina said. Naruto ran in the yard. Hana, he called and tackled said girl in a hug. Hana was surprised at first, then laughed. Naruto, how are you? I missed you so much, she said. I missed you when Naruto said get off her. He then turned to Koro. How are you, Koro? Keeping the other dogs in order without my help, he asked. Koro barked and licked Naruto. Mia has puppies. That's great. How many? Naruto asked. Koro barked again. 3. Wow. Who do you think will get them this time? Last time you were right on who got the new puppy. Maybe you can guess right this time, Naruto said. The dog barked and licked Naruto and Hana. Whoa, Hana, you really think so? Naruto asked. Whoa, slow down, you 3. The puppies are not even born yet and Hana isn't quite ready for her own dog, Tsum said from the doorway. Tenten and Hinata looked at Naruto. How can you understand dogs? Naruto shrugged. I don't know, and I can only understand certain dogs, he said. I think it's an ability he is getting from Kyuubi. He is going to need training to fully develop the ability, but he won't be able to do more than talk to dogs, Tsum said. I'm going to need an Inazuka to train him to talk to dogs, Kushina said. I'll take care of that when I get home. For now I'm just going to enjoy watching the kids, Tsum said. Hinata Tenten wants to ride on Koro. It's so fun, Naruto asked. The two not wants to turn down a fun new game ran to the giant dog and climbed on along with Hana and Naruto. The two adults watched the kids laugh and have fun. I think we need a dog, Kushina said. I will send you one. It won't be a fighting dog, but more of a house dog, but it will be able to protect your house when you're gone, Tsum said. That will be awesome, Kushina said. Yeah, and you never have to worry about intruders when you're gone. The dog will study everyone's scent who lives here, and if anyone tries to get in the dog will attack, Tsum said. Good, I have scrolls that I don't want to get out of our family. That reminds me, can you get a hold of everything that I'm supposed to have from Minato and send it to me? I'm not worried about the money, but the jutsus and things in the house is what I want, especially the pictures to show Naruto and my future grandchildren, Kushina asked. I will work on that. It should be easy enough with the Hokage thinking Naruto is dead. The security around the Namake's compound has all but ended. So far no one was able to break through the front gate, Tsum said.
Kushina pulled out a key. I think this should still work, she said, handing it to Tsume.
I think it will. I'll send everything in a large scroll with the Inuzuka representative that will help Naruto develop his dog speech, Tsume said. I wonder if my grandchildren will have dog speech also, Kushina said, looking at the 4 kids. Well, at least the ones from Hana will. The ones from Hinata and Tenten have a 50% chance of being able to talk to dogs, Tsume said, looking at the kids also. Look at us, talking like we are old enough for grandchildren, Kushina laughed. What can I say? It's every mother's desire to have grandchildren before they are too old to play with them, Tsume laughed. Kushina laughed with her, then thought of something. How will Naruto's bloodline affect Hana's and Hinata's bloodline, she asked. I'm not sure. I think since Hinata has their kids will get both, but I'm not sure about Hana's and Naruto's kids. I would assume that the kids will get both, or I hope they do, Tsume said. Cross-clan marriages are confusing at times, Kushina said. It can be, that's why it does not happen much because of the fear of bloodlines being wiped out completely, Tsume said. But that's impossible, because even if an entire generation of kids have bloodline A and not B, eventually bloodline B will pop up again since it is still in the genes of everyone who was born from the 2 clans, Kushina said. I know, but it's the risk that keeps clans with bloodlines from marrying into other clans with bloodlines. It's much easier to marry someone without a bloodline and guarantee that the bloodline is continued on into the future, Tsume said. Anko walked into the back with a confused look on her face. What's going on, she asked. Anko, I'm sure you know Tsume and her daughter Hana, Kushina asked. Yes, but why are they here? Anko asked. Well, in Konoha, Naruto and Hana had a secret friendship with the protection of Tsume allowing them to play in the compound. Naruto had to promise not to say nothing out of fear of how people would react to him having a friend and it being the Inuzuka era, that Kushina said. Oh, that would explain why he was outside after midnight the day me and Kurenai saved him, Anko said. No, it didn't. He never came to the compound because we were having the doghouses cleaned. I questioned the Hokage on why he was out of the orphanage. All he said was unforeseen circumstances prevented him from being there that day, Tsume said. Unforeseen circumstances like what, Anko asked. He wouldn't elaborate on it, Tsume said. So he really didn't care if Naruto was killed that day or not, just acted like he did in front of Naruto, Anko said. Anko, it doesn't matter now. We already know where the Hokage stands on the subject. I knew when he told me Naruto was dead, then kicked me out the village 2 minutes later, Kushina said. I'm just happy Naruto was taken out of the village before the Hokage accidentally forgot Naruto's protection and someone ended up killing him, Tsume said. Yes, everything worked out for the best, and he still can play with his best friends, Kushina said. Anko looked at them. You know, I think I saw those 2 running across the village on top of a dog throwing balloons at buildings, she said. Tsume laughed. I remember that. Both Hana and Naruto said it was Kuro's idea, while he blamed the 2 kids, and I ended up paying a team of Inuzuka genins clean the paint before the village woke up the next day. Kushina smiled. So he did inherit my full personality, even the pranks, she said. Oh yes, just wait, he will start them here as soon as he learns where every street leads to, Tsume said. Mama's lunch ready, Naruto yelled. He even thinks like you, Tsume said. Like a mother like son, Kushina said in a sing-song voice, going into the house to get their lunch. The next day the 4 kids were on the back of Kuro as the dog ran around the yard barking and wagging his tail. When Tsume came out, Hana, time to go, she called. Now can't we stay a little longer, Hana pouted. Sorry sweetie, but you have to go to the academy tomorrow, and I need to catch up on the paperwork I missed, Tsume said. Okay mom, Hana said sadly. Don't be sad, you can come back and play with them again, Tsume said. You promise, Hana said. Yes, I promise, Tsume said. By Naruto, Hinata, and Tenten, Hana said to each. By Hana, they replied. Kuro barked. By Kuro, they added. Naruto gets ready, we are leaving tomorrow to meet the Mizukage, Kushina said. Okay mom, Naruto said and ran into the house. In Kiri. Yagura ended this treaty with the Owazumakis now, someone said. Yes, Lord Uchiha, Yagura said. Yagura grabbed his Mizukage's hat and walked out the Kage's tower. He walked to the gate and looked at the 2 redheads that were there. What do you want? I'm here to renew the treaty between Kiri and the Owazumaki clan, Kushina said. I'm not interested in your treaty, he said and turned away. Kushina glared at his back then turned. Let's go Naruto, she said.
Yagura was walking towards the tower when a dark figure appeared.
That boy killed him, the figure said.
Yes, Lord Uchiha Yagura said. Kushina grabbed Naruto and jumped out of the way of the surprise attack.
What the hell is your problem?
My lord wants him dead, Yagura said. Kushina glared at him. Attack my son again and I will kill you, she said. Yagura pulled the giant sword off his back and pointed it at Naruto. Kushina stood in front of Naruto and grabbed her katana off her back. Yagura snapped his fingers and Kiri's ANBU appeared, killing the boy, he said. So you can't fight one-on-one, Kushina asked. Yagura just attacked without saying anything. Kushina stood her ground and blocked his attack.
Kushina activated her Iron Sand bloodline, secret attack, iron decomposition, she called out.
She then attacked Yagura with her katana. Confused because nothing happened, Yagura attacked her. They traded blows until Yagura coughed up blood. What did you do? He asked, confused.
I used my bloodline to decay the iron in your blood. The more you move, the faster the process will happen until you die, Kushina said.
Lord Mizukage the ANBU yelled and attacked Kushina.
Before they could reach her, the temperature rose until everyone was drenched in sweat and a blonde kunoichi appeared. Then the temperature returned to how it is supposed to be.
The ANBU and Kushina looked confused. Who are you the head of?
I'm Kasumi, and I'm the leader of the last bloodline users in Kiri, she said.
So some of you freaks did survive the purge, the ANBU said.
Oh, a whole lot more than you would think, Kasumi said. Then the rest of the group jumped from the roofs of the nearby buildings. We are no longer going to hide our powers, we will use them to fix Kiri and make it into the place it once was, Kasumi said. We will take care of you after we deal with those two, the ANBU leader said.
No, we will settle this now, Kasumi then turned to Kushina. Get your kid and get out of here, we will make sure no one follows you, she said.
I'll leave, but only because I have my son with me, Kushina said. Follow me, the rest will make sure no one follows us, Kasumi said.
Lead on, Kushina said.
They reached the gate. Safe travels, hopefully this civil war will end soon, Kasumi said. Hopefully, if you ever need help you can always contact me, Kushina said.
I'll remember what Kasumi said. In Suna, Kushina and Naruto walked into the compound and saw a bunch of scrolls all over the place. What is all this, Kushina asked.
Oh, you're back, how did it go, Anko asked. Not so good, Kiri is in a civil war, the Kage is trying to kill off all the bloodlines, Kushina said.
Oh, well this is the stuff my snake brought back from Konoha, I don't know why it took so long though, Anko said. Oh, what did they bring you? Kushina asked. Well, most of it is jutsus, but there are some letters addressed to you, Anko said. Kushina asked. Yup, Anko said, tossing her a few scrolls. Kushina read the letters. How about that, she said. How about what, Kurenai asked, walking in from the yard.
It says in this letter that if somehow I was to die then everything Minato owns will go to Tsume until Naruto is old enough to inherit it. It also says that Naruto is to be adopted by anyone who wishes to adopt him if I wasn't able to take care of him, Kushina said. Really, no wonder that letter was hidden, Anko said. But get this, it was signed by the third on the day Kyuubi attacked Kushina. 3 years later, Gaara and Naruto were running from the academy being chased by a group of 10 girls all ranging from 8 to 10. The two 8-year-olds turned a corner and were stopped by another group of girls. Naruto, nice knowing you, Gaara said.
Gaara, Naruto said. We have them cornered, one of the girls yelled. Get them, another yelled. Gaara asked. Yeah, one, Naruto said. Well, tell me, Gaara said.
Close your eyes, Naruto said.
Gaara was confused but did as told. No, Naruto called out and transformed into a taller version of himself but naked.
All the girls fainted from blood loss because of the "let's go," Gaara, Naruto said, and the two started to run again. Naruto ran into his compound and slammed the door shut. Again, Kushina asked from her chair.
Mom, this is crazy, it happens every day, Naruto complained. Kushina laughed. That's what happens when you have fangirls, she said. I hate fangirls, Naruto said. Cheer up, Hana is coming to visit again, Kushina said.
Really, I can't wait, it's been like 5 years since she last visited, Naruto said, exaggerating.
It's only been 5 months, Kushina said. Where is Hina and Tenny, Naruto asked.
They are with their mothers, Kushina said. Oh, they always keep those girls off me when we leave the academy, Naruto said.
What happened to Temari? She is still at the academy, right? Kushina asked.
No, she graduated early and Kankuro was too busy laughing at me and Gaara to help us, Naruto said. Maybe he was getting back at you too for that prank you pulled on him, Kushina said.
Naruto smiled evilly. He deserved it, he said.
Maybe. I have to go soon. Koi will be here with you until Yugugo comes home. Make sure you feed the Inu, Kushina said. His name is Nato, Naruto said. Whatever, you Hina and Tenny all call him by different names, Kushina said, kissing him on the head. Will you be home for dinner this time? Naruto asked before she could leave. Kushina stopped and looked at him. I'll be here, I promise, she said with a smile. Kushina walked into the meeting room. Now that we all are here, we discovered a spy in the village, the elder said. Oh, who was this spy? Kushina asked. The Kazekage, the elder said. The Kazekage, how is he a spy? Kushina asked. Well, I don't know how it happened, but he was seen multiple times meeting with Orochimaru. One of those meetings dealt with delivering him your son, the elder said. I'll kill them both before they get a chance to touch my son, Kushina said. Well, before you do that, we need a new leader. I already sent word to the daimyo. He agreed that a new Kazekage was needed, the elder said. How do we pick a new leader? The representative for one of the shinobi families said. Leave that to me. First we have to catch him in the act before we can do anything. He has too much support from the people for us to just overthrow him, Kushina said. How long will this take? The elder asked. Kushina said at least 5 years. We don't have that much time, the elder said. Trust me, I won't let anything happen to this village, Kushina said. The elder thought for a minute. Okay, if anything happens during these 5 years, it is your responsibility to fix it, he said. Deal, Kushina said. 4 years later. The 12-year-olds were sitting in their class waiting to be put on a team. Since it was 4 of them, they knew they wouldn't be on the same team, but hoped they would somehow be teamed together. Their teacher walked into the room. Gaara, the Kazekage has put you on a team with your brother and sister, Hinata, Naruto, and Tenten will be on a team with Kushina as your sensei, he said. Kushina walked into the room. Let go of you 3, Gaara, you can leave, your team won't be meeting today, she said. She led them to the compound so they could train without being watched or bothered by Naruto's fangirls. Okay, you 3, now that you are genins, we are going to increase your training, she said. Naruto asked, confused. Yes, I'm training you, Naruto, Kushina said. I'm training Hinata, Kurenai said from receipt. And I'm training Tenten, Anko said from receipt. Now since we don't need to worry about your teamwork, we can focus on your individual skills, Kushina said. Tsunade walked into the back. Don't forget our agreement, she said. We won't, you get them every day after dinner, Kushina said. Hinata asked. We agreed that if she stays with us and soon as she can train you all in medics once you become genins, Anko said. Medics, I can't pummel someone into the ground with medics, Naruto said. Why does that sound familiar? Tsunade asked, looking at Kushina. Kushina shrugged innocently. I don't know what she said. Of course you don't, the apple didn't fall too far from the tree with this one, Kushina, Tsunade said. Naruto, if you learn medicine you will get to sign the scorpion contract, Kushina said. Naruto asked. Yup, Kushina said. Deal, Naruto said. A month into their training as genins, Kushina had an idea. Hey, I want to take you 3 out of the village for a special mission, she said. What kind of special mission? Naruto asked. Well, there is this country called Wave, they are being run into the ground and the people sent out letters asking for help. Now if we do this we won't get paid, but the rewards will be much better than money, Kushina said. You mean we get to help people have better lives? Naruto asked. Yes, Kushina told him. I want to go, Naruto said. So do I, Tenten said. I'll go, Hinata said. Good, we leave in the morning, Kushina said. In Wave. The 4 arrived in Wave after 2 weeks of traveling through Fire Country. As they traveled, Kushina noticed something. Shit, stay down and don't move, she told them. What's wrong, Mom? Naruto asked. Quiet, stay here and don't move or talk, Kushina demanded and jumped off into the trees. She came to an open area and found Kakashi fighting Zabuza.
Damn it, why did they have to come?
Also, she cursed as she watched the fight. She also noticed someone else with a mask on and crept up on them. "Don't move and you won't die," she said.
How did you get up on me without me noticing you? The masked ninja asked.
Don't worry about that. What side are you on, Kakashi's or Zabuza's? Kushina asked.
Zabuza-sama's side, the masked ninja said.
Good, you might want to help him since he is about to be killed, Kushina said.
Kushina watched as the masked ninjas faked Zabuza's death then jumped back into the trees. Thank you, the ninja said.
Don't worry, we have a common enemy this time, but remember this, your life is not worth someone else playing with. You can be a much better ninja if you leave Zabuza, Kushina said.
Don't talk bad about Zabuza-sama or I'll kill you, the masked ninja said. Kushina asked, "What's your name?" Kushina asked all of a sudden.
Haku, the ninja said. Well, Haku, Zabuza was almost killed by Kakashi. If you was trained by him, then you have no room to threaten me. But remember what I said, someone like him will only use you until you're of no more use to him, then he will cast you aside for someone stronger. Is your life worth being in the hands of a man who will willingly kill you if he found someone stronger to do his biddings? Kushina asked, then jumped off.
Haku watched as Kushina left thinking about what she said.
Thanks for watching my video, and make sure to check out the author of this fanfic, link is in the description. See you next time, till then sayonara.